The baby is born, and we hold in our hands a miraculous living creature whose potential is unknown. What will enter that astonishing brain? And from those ingredients, what kind of life will this child fashion? Ideas are the most important things on earth, and each of us has his own or her own idea factory. It comes as standard equipment at birth, the big brain of the Homo sapiens. Ideas, the great ideas that move us to be better and greater than we now are the deeply embedded anchors that will hold us in place when the great storms of life crash about us. We're by no means immune to mistakes, but we understand that they're a natural part of growth and reaching into the unknown. We all have basic and inherent genetic differences. Regardless of the genetic equipment we've been handed, the goals we set and invariably reach when they're truly our goals and not the goals of a parent or acquaintance meet our desires perfectly. Our daydreams or habitual visions are often the way our inherent genetic mix is put together, and those dreams and visions are trying to tell us which way to go. They're often the projection of our inner voice, and that inner voice is based on very sound judgment about our true inherent capacities. The thing we must put aside in order to fulfill our unique possibilities is conformity. We need to recognize that there are ways in which we must not conform, and we need to recognize the fact that the tendency to conform to the standards of others without question is insidious. There's a human tendency, no doubt acquired and strengthened in childhood, to believe that whatever people in significant numbers are doing must be correct, or so many of them wouldn't be doing it. The great majority of people seldom enjoy the best of anything. The best is never the most popular. Now, I mention these things to establish the importance of questioning the things we do. Do we do them because they're what everybody else is doing, or because we've come to the conclusion that they're best for us and our personal journey into meaning? Whatever the majority of people are doing, under any given circumstance, if you will do the exact opposite, you will probably never make another mistake as long as you live. Using our intuition along with our intelligence as a guide can be the best way to produce really super ideas. How it works is a mystery. That it does work, we've all demonstrated at times during our lives. When a person knows where he or she is going and is engaged in getting there, the most amazing coincidences begin to take place. When we know where we're going and occupied on our journey, it seems as though all the forces, whatever they are, come to our aid. We're helped along by invisible as well as visible sources. This is not to say that we encounter nothing but smooth sailing. On the contrary, there's that door, of course, which is like a members-only sign outside an exclusive club. It seems to exist to prevent all but the 100%ers from gaining entrance to the winner's circle. Perseverance. Dogged, unflagging, repeatedly rejected perseverance is the answer, of course. And when we've set our heart and mind on something that is so important to us, we can generate that kind of persistence. The first step of the successful goal person is commitment. The person who's 100% committed to the achievement of a goal is quite willing to take whatever intermediate steps are necessary. The bridges are burned. There's no escape route on which to come tiptoeing back when things get rough. Commitment, 100%. When that happens, the goal is as good as accomplished, and you'll have fun and great experiences on the road to its achievement. In fact, the goal itself may come as an anticlimax, demanding the immediate setting of a new goal. As we work to bring a difficult long-range goal into reality, we gradually grow into the kind of people to whom such a goal is a natural thing. That's because before we can do something, we must be something. We actually become what we think about. And the key to it all is that it is each one of us who must do the thinking, and each of us has his own governor. Success in the long run depends on endurance and perseverance. Examine your life, your wants, your dreams, your daydreams, your visions, and look for a consistent key, a way in which you'd like to see yourself doing some particular thing as a form of work or service. A consistent daydream is often the projection of our inner intelligence trying to tell us what we should be doing. If it's the right work for you, chances are you've found yourself fooling around with it in your spare time in some way or reading about it. Look for a consistent interest. If you find it, you may have found your river. There are those of us who seem to be able to do with equal facility and with equal interest and enjoyment many things. Now many will ask, well, why set goals at all? Why not just take things as they come and do your best with what you've been given to do? A goal gives a picture to the human subconscious. Everyone has goals, whether he or she will admit it or not. Whatever you want to bring about in your life represents a goal. Wants are goals. Goals give us the drive and energy we need to remain on the track long enough for their accomplishment. Like the captain of the ship about to leave port, we should be able to tell anyone our next port of call, and perhaps the one after that. If you've done much traveling at sea, you were perhaps surprised in the beginning by how slowly most large ships seem to move through the water. A ship pulling away from the dock and heading for a distant port at 20 knots may seem painfully slow indeed. But the ship moves steadily, 24 hours a day, always on course. And soon we're in the harbor with mission accomplished. Now, after refueling, a new port of call must be determined. People with goals on which they've set their hearts and minds are always moving toward those goals. Even while we sleep, our deep minds are apparently working on the project. It's interesting and often quite astonishing how people with goals tend to live longer than people without them. It's as though they can extend their lives simply because they have something to do. It must be the interest that lends vitality and energy to their lives. The journey is better than the end, because the journey is life and experience. It puts us in the way of new interests and the most astonishing synchronicity. We say, I have an idea. What is that? It's surely more than a neurochemical electrical response, although it's that too. An idea is the bringing together of known increments to provide a new result. All information of a positive kind has value when we're formulating ideas. When we set an important goal for ourselves, we present to our mind a problem to be solved, a challenge to be successfully fulfilled. Instantly, the mind goes to work to find the information we need to turn that idea into reality. More often than not, we get in our own way by doubting the suggestions that filter into our consciousness only to discover later that they would have been marvelous shortcuts and simplifications of the process if we'd only heeded them. The idea has become real in our lives, even if it takes 3 years to pay for it. We become what we think about, but the thinking is up to us, and the degree to which people regularly underestimate their capacity for accomplishment is immeasurable. When it comes to setting goals for ourselves, we tend to play things outrageously safe, and thus remain within limits embarrassingly small. Good ideas are wondrous, delightful, magical things. The fact is, there's no such thing as security as long as we're alive. If we're looking for security during our lifetimes, we're looking for something that simply cannot be guaranteed. Insecurity is our natural state. It's not the chimera, the fire-breathing, multi-legged and clawed monstrosity we think it is. A good idea is an idea that results in a change that is beneficial, and good ideas come in all shapes and sizes. A good idea means change. Don't ever say, "I'd like to get to the point where I can start taking things easy." After you die, you can take it easy. We're the only creatures with the power to create our own worlds within the world in which we find ourselves. An awesome power indeed. That's why ideas are the greatest things on earth, for it's ideas that shape our lives.